Shifting our focus to another war zone, high-stakes diplomacy between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin have been overshadowed by battlefield clashes. Yes, you heard that right. That is what has happened. Just hours after the conversation between the two leaders ended, with Putin agreeing to a partial and temporary ceasefire, Russia and Ukraine claim to have struck each other's energy facilities. Trump and Putin spoke for more than 2 hours on Tuesday evening. And while the Russian president rejected Trump's request for a full 30-day ceasefire, to which Ukraine had agreed last week, Putin agreed on a moratorium on strikes on energy and infrastructure targets. So, in essence, Putin agreed to a 30-day energy truce. But that did not stop the attacks. Let's start with the attack on Ukraine. Ukraine was attacked with kamikaze drones and S-300 surface-to-air missiles. Shortly after their call ended, that's when the strikes started happening. Air raid sirens sounded in Kyiv. About 45 drones attacked the region around the capital, and anti-aircraft fire was audible across the capital overnight. Ukrainian officials said various houses and cars were damaged by drones that fell in Bucha and other areas around the capital. 2 people were injured in the attack. Meanwhile, in the eastern city of Sumy, a drone hit a hospital building, requiring the evacuation of more than 100 patients. In a different incident, 1 civilian died in a nearby village. However, the fighting was not one-sided. It was not just Russia launching the attack. Ukraine also continued its long-range drone assaults on Russia overnight, hitting an oil depot in the southern Russian region of Krasnodar. The Russian Defense Ministry said that Ukraine attacked a Russian oil transfer facility that services an international pipeline operation partially owned by American investors. The facility is used to transfer crude from rail-transported tanks to a pipeline operated by the Caspian Pipeline Council, or the CPC, which is an international firm that counts U.S. giants Chevron and Mobil among its partners. Now, the overnight attack by Ukraine reportedly involved 3 kamikaze drones directed against a station near the village of Kavakavskaya. The fire from that attack launched by Ukraine continued to blaze throughout the day. The Russian military said, and I quote here, "Clearly, this was a premeditated provocation by the Kyiv regime aimed at derailing the use and the president's initiatives, the U.S. president's initiative." On the same day, the Russia's defense ministry said that its forces destroyed 57 Ukrainian drones. The majority of them were downed in Kursk region. A day before, Russia also claimed to have thwarted a major Ukrainian cross-border attack in Belgorod, while regaining control of almost all settlements in Kursk. The Russian Ministry of Defense linked the new incursion attempt by Ukraine to the phone call between Trump and Putin. According to Russian MOD, the Ukrainian military mounted 5 attacks on the Russian region, targeting the border villages of Demidevka and Prelese. The operation involved 200 soldiers and 29 pieces of military hardware, including 5 tanks. Russia says they repelled all the Ukrainian attack, killing up to 60 Ukrainian servicemen and at least 1 tank, 3 military breacher vehicles and 7 other armored units. Russia claims that Ukraine had wanted to create a negative background for the long-anticipated Trump-Putin talks. And video circulating online purports to show Ukrainian armor, including several US-made infantry fighting vehicles, breaching through concrete anti-tank obstacles installed on the border. The armor comes under artillery fire, with some vehicles hitting landmines as well as getting attacked by FPV drones. It came as Russia claims to have reclaimed all the strategic settlements in Kursk from Ukrainian troops. Remember, we've been telling you on the show how Ukraine had planned to use its occupation of the Russian region as a bargaining chip for talks with Moscow. But in recent weeks, Russian troops have been able to liberate Zudza, which is the largest town that was occupied by Ukrainians during their incursion. Now, a vast majority of that territory has also come back under Russian control. As far as the war goes, Ukrainians are on the back foot and the time as well as resources are running out for Ukraine. The question being, will the US broker a permanent truce between Russia and Ukraine? Well, the next few weeks will tell us.